What is up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about vacation clubs and timeshares, how we got tangled up in a web, and hopefully we will get you untangled. Stick around, stay tuned, and let's roll to the intro. Get in the car like this and smile, there's something wrong with you. What is up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal, all because we want to share our experience with you. Our experience of being webbed up in a web, caught up in the web of vacation clubs and timeshares. But first, before we get into all that, I'd like to introduce my beautiful co-host, my wife, Amanda. Welcome.
Hi guys.
Glad to have you here. It's a little different having you side by side with me. You're always side by side with me, but to actually have you hosting with me is a little different, but glad to have you here.
Well, thank you.
All right. Now, like I said, today is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a two-part series for sure. The first part is going to be about the introduction, about how we got caught up in vacation club timeshare sort of deals. And if you don't know timeshares, well, back in the day, 20 years ago, there was timeshares. Timeshares everybody knew to stay away from. You'd be walking hand in hand with your significant other and you'd have these people trying to work you. Hey, come here a minute, let me talk to you. Let's talk to you about this place that we can sell you. Everybody knew to stay away from it. Well, they've rebranded it, they've renamed it, they've changed some numbers, they've changed some things, and now they're calling it vacation clubs. And well, be cautious of that. Be very, very cautious, because it is a trap and it will get you entrapped for sure. So like I said, this is going to be a two-part video. The first part is going to be about how we got entrapped, and the second part is how to get untrapped, kind of, sort of. You'll just have to, you got to watch both videos. You're going to have to. So if this is something you're interested in, you need to go down there and hit that subscribe button right off, and also hit that like button at the end if this is something you also like and want to see more of. So let's bring it in. Let's set the scene, if you will. It's 2022, and as all of you know, we love to travel. You can go through my playlist and see we love to travel. So we had never been to Panama. It was close to Bike Week, and we thought, you know what? Let's go to Panama Bike Week. Let's have fun. Let's go down there, look at the bikes, and have a great vacation, a different experience. And so we did. My wife, she spends, I want to say, probably weeks on end looking for rooms, looking for prices.
Countless hours.
Just ongoing,
yeah,
pretty much, until she finds the perfect one. She looks at reviews, she checks everything out. If we've got the money for it, we're gonna splurge. That's what vacation is about, splurging, having a good time. So that's what she does. My job, more or less, is looking at the locations, finding out where we're gonna go, and traveling when we get there, and then using that motel or room or whatever it may be as a home base, if you will, so we can not only stay there, but travel outwards and see other things. So that's what we done. We knew that we was going to Panama Bike Week, so we set everything up. She got the room ready. We got there. Now, the room was spectacular. When you opened up the doors, and I'll put videos up, when you opened up the doors, there was doves flying out, birds. Jesus' light was shining down. It was absolutely gorgeous, was it not?
It was.
It was beautiful. So we was on a high. We was on a vacation high. There's no doubt about it. Sure, there's better rooms out there, but wouldn't you say this was probably one of our top 5, probably top 3 rooms that we'd ever gotten?
I like this one a lot.
It was nice. Mm-hmm. It was very nice. And it was Wyndham. That was what, correct? Yes. Wyndham. Okay, so.
I didn't book through Wyndham.
No, you booked through Vacasa,
yeah,
which is, that's probably a story for another day, but we'll get to that one maybe if you guys want to hear more about that as well. But we went in, loved the room, absolutely beautiful. Probably one of the, like I said, top 3 rooms of all time. We got in there and just fell in love. So that night we went out and done our dinner, done our thing, done what we do. We're hand in hand walking down Pier Park. And if you don't know anything about Pier Park, or maybe you do, as you get towards the end of Pier Park, you've got what I call the hecklers of the bunch. That's what I'm going to call them. They've got a job to do and they know what they're doing. They're well versed in what they're doing. They're trying to sell you the timeshares. They're trying to sell you the vacation clubs. So we've been through this before. We know. Walk on past. They're like, come here. No, they don't want no part of that. So they said the key word though, Wyndham. Well, that's where we're staying. So both of our ears perked up. We looked at each other and was like, you know what? See what they got to say. Mistake number one. Should have just kept walking. But we didn't. We went in, seen what the gentleman had to say. Nice, like I said, well-versed gentleman. Knew what he was talking about. Gave us some coupons, gift cards for Sharkies.
Yep.
$50. Wanted to know and sort of told us a little bit about this timeshare, which is actually where we was staying at in Wyndham. So we was intrigued. We was wanting to know more. So he set us up a time for the next morning, for the following morning, for us to go sit in a conference room with these people. So we done just that. We talked beforehand. Look, is this something we really can't afford? Do we need to even be discussing this at all? And it was something that we was wanting to do because of the simple fact we spend a lot of money on rooms and stuff like that. So maybe this is something for us. So we got up that next morning and we went to their conference room there was probably 20 other couples, I would say, in this room, in this big conference room, which is also in Wyndham. That's where it just happened to be. And we watched their presentation. It was a great presentation, which it was nothing that we hadn't already seen. It was nothing new to us because we was actually staying in the Wyndham resort. So we knew what we was getting, what was coming. After this, they asked who is interested, who is not. They try to work the ones who's not interested, but that doesn't work. There's probably 5 couples left out of the 20. They should have been 4 because we should have left as well, but we didn't. We stuck around, and this is where everything starts going south. So the person who was putting on the presentation decides, okay, you need to come with us. You guys, come with us. We want you guys, because you guys are staying here. We want you guys to come with us and let's talk about this. So we did. They took credit reports, credit applications. Obviously, credit was good. There was no issues with that. And then right here is where it really starts going stupid. This is where you get brought in more in this conversation, because when it comes to numbers, I look at you. You're the one who, you take care of all the bills.
I do.
You say, yes, we can afford this, or no, we can't. Our set budget was $280. That's what we wanted to spend a month. That's all we was willing to spend a month.
That's all I was willing to budget.
Right. So that's what we agreed on the night before. And like I said, this is where it starts getting hairy. This lady comes up to us, and it's a point system. All of these things are now based on a point system, all your vacation clubs and stuff like that. So you have to buy points in order, or sell points in order to be able to retrieve this property.
It's a trade out basically. You have points, you use the points. You don't get an actual piece of property. You don't get an actual piece of anything.
No title.
They give you this paper that says, here, you have this many points. Now go use them. Which
we thought was gonna be great. We traveled. So the first thing I asked was, okay, we like to travel a lot. What if I wanna go to Branson, Missouri? So she reaches behind her and grabs this book. It's about this thick. Am I exaggerating?
No.
It's at least this thick. Flops it down on the table, opens it up, right to Branson, Missouri. That should have been my second clue. How does that even happen? It doesn't. It doesn't happen. It's because it's all hooked and crooked. But either way, I'm getting ahead of myself. So she opens it up and says, yes, right here, Branson, Missouri. Looks like there's 3 or 4 different ones in Branson, Missouri. Okay, what about Colorado? Yes, there's 2 or 3 more right here. So we was like, okay, that's good. What kind of prices can you do for us? And right here is where
she gets her highlighter out.
Pretty much.
And then starts writing down a bunch of stuff that neither of us really understand at that point. We're still trying to figure out how this point system is even going to work for us, or if it's going to work for us. She's like, okay, Branson, Missouri, and she pulls out this book. She's looking up all these numbers, and she's like, okay, you could do this. She said, we're going to sell you this many points. If you go in a high time, then you're going to be spending most of your points. However, you guys are just a couple, so you could actually rent the studios in, the less popular times, and you can spend less than half of that. And we're like, well, we don't really care when we travel.
Right.
That's not an issue for us. We just go. So we were like, okay, we could probably do this and probably get maybe 3 vacations out of this.
Easily. Versus, we was only talking maybe 1, maybe 2, but as everybody knows, your biggest expense other than food, because food is outrageous at this point, but your lodging is your most expensive, and you want to be in the best place. Mm-hmm. I mean, we do. We don't want to be in the ghetto. I'm sorry. That's not relaxing to me, having to stay up all night and make sure we're going to be safe and our cars are safe and bikes, etc.
Right.
But yes, so at this point, we start asking more questions. Well, what if? What if we don't want this? What happens then? Well, if you don't want this, if something happens that you can't afford this situation or whatever it may be, you can sell it back to us. There will be no problem because look, you're in Panama City, Florida. This is the tourist attraction of the world, Panama, and Florida in general. So you can sell it back to us. Well, that also was a lie. But what else did we have on here that we wanted to discuss?
They sign you up for all these other side jobs because you're gonna get them for free. We're just gonna give those to you for free. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what that paper says and that price. It's gonna be free to you.
Now, what are you talking about there when you're talking about?
Well, we have our Club Wyndham membership at that time, and then they sign you up for something called RCI. It's kind of, I guess, a sister program to the Club Wyndham, so you can book outside of Wyndham as well with your points, no problem.
Right.
Then we get the RCI Plus because, that's an upgrade for us, and they're going to give that to us for free. And since we're going to get all of that for free, she's going to give us Vacation Sidekick. It's called a Vacation Sidekick. I still don't know what that was.
We've looked.
I have no idea.
No clue.
It was something that it's going to be $60 a year after your first complimentary year, but you'll need this. So that's where we were being put into all these programs, and we're like, oh, well, this should be great. We should be able to find something for sure.
She also gave us a bunch of free points. Mm-hmm. We kept kind of backing away, and they kept giving us more points. Oh, and free vacations, and which is honestly, this was what I was going to give you guys, was the free vacations off of us, because we were supposed to be getting, and well, we did. It was a piece of paper, mm-hmm. 4 free vacations for 3 nights, 2 days, for any room that you wanted for free. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was giving to you guys until we figured out, well, there one was a time frame on them, and 2, you never could get a hold of nobody to cash any of this stuff in, ever.
Never.
You stayed on the phone, I don't know, endless of times that I know of. Mm-hmm. That's just me knowing of. On the phone trying to get a hold of somebody, and they would, nothing.
Well, there was a website, and I looked up the information on the website, and the information was there, but you had to decide you could only travel from a Tuesday to a Thursday or a Monday to a Wednesday. You couldn't travel at any given time, and then you had blackout times, and you had to make that choice like right then and there. So if you didn't have something planned already, it was of no use to you, because you were very limited on the amount. And okay, fine, that was free. We were like, okay, fine, we'll figure out a time when we can go for a long weekend or something and
or
do
give
that.
it to you guys, which is what we had talked about.
Well, she gave us 4 of those.
Right. There was no way. There was physically no way we could do that. Mm-hmm. But, even she told us, give them to your family, give them to your friends, do whatever. So that's what we had planned.
Right.
So now the breakdown becomes, they want to know their system is down. They want to know if there's any other way, because their system is down, can they charge this to a credit card, a bank account, something to where they can make sure that you're interested and get you hooked, to where they can get theirs as well. So I had American Express. We'd already talked, if something went down, we could use the American Express, and then because we want to be able to have, we don't want nothing tied to our checkings or savings account. That's a no-no, and if that's a big no-no. You guys need to take note of this as well. If you're making big purchases like this, don't give them anything to do with your bank accounts at all. Just make sure it's a credit card. So gave them the American Express right off the bat. They took, I don't know how much, $5,000.
That was $3,300. So
okay,
a little over $3,000.
And then, which was fine. You know, this is what we decided we wanted. The credit card was supposed to have been going back to their system. It was supposed to have been took off the American Express.
They were going to transfer it
right
to their system, however that works.
And then somehow, some way, we got added three more? Mm-hmm. 3 more credit cards on top of this that we never even applied for. We never applied for these credit cards, but somehow we got them. So we're at this point 6 months in, multiple calls, not being able to get anything resolved, can't get in any of these vacation spots that we supposedly can own. Physically no title or nothing in our hands like they said they were supposed to be. It's a waste of money at this point. We're giving away.
Your points are just good for the year too, unless you knew exactly when to roll them over, and then you could only roll over so many of those. So if you weren't able to use these points, which we couldn't, I never could get a vacation scheduled, then we're just paying for points that we're losing at that point.
Pretty much. Give us a little rundown on how much we was supposed to pay a month versus what we ended up paying per month.
Oh, I mean, we were supposed to pay like $229. It was right at
what we had agreed upon, me and you that night.
It was good. I mean, obviously they ask you what's your budget, and they get there somehow, you know.
Always.
But then you've got all of this other extra stuff that was supposed to be complimentary to us. You start seeing those coming in. So you're calling and you're saying, I thought this was, you know, we got the first year for free, or this was not going to be charged. Oh, it'll be taken care of. Don't worry. You know, once you can finally get someone on the phone. So then they turn around and you've got your down payment on the American Express. Then they charge you a processing fee of $70 plus your access fee, and I don't really know what that even.
We never even found that out.
For $25. So I mean, that alone on your credit card alone is $3,474.
That you've got to pay, which is, you know, we agreed upon that.
That's so, fine. Okay. We didn't dicker over that one. But on top of that, you've got now your mortgage, as they're calling it, because
it's a mortgage.
It's a mortgage. They gave us 84,000 points, and our payment was $228.29. But then you got to add on maintenance fees, which they don't tell you about.
They don't tell you about none of that.
Your first payment's due before you even get an opportunity
to even use anything.
To do anything. Our contract did not go into effect until July the 1st, and our first payment was due in June. So something was wrong with that too. Processing fee, closing costs, I mean, you name it. I'm sitting here looking at it, and it's an astronomical amount of money that we're going, we didn't agree to this.
Full disclosure, we knew what was going on into when we done this. We're not, no way, shape, no how trying to pinpoint this on you guys or anything. We're trying to put the light on this stuff so it can get out there. So one, you don't get taken advantage of, and two, maybe this nonsense will get shut down at some point in time. I doubt it, but who knows? But we should have known better. We're not blaming anybody but ourselves. We done it to ourselves. But the fact of it is that it sounds great, it looks great, they make it look great on paper, they make it look great all the way around. Dealt with car salesmen and everything my whole life, and these people have got car salesmen beat out of the water. And the thing about it is, I believe, and this is my personal opinion, I don't know this for sure, but I believe that they actually change people at least every couple of months, because we tried to get a hold of Christina, wasn't that her name?
Yeah.
Several different times, and we was eventually told that she didn't work there anymore. She was a different location. So I'm pretty sure in order to keep fresh people on scene, to keep people like me and you guys from calling them and aggravating them, that they just move them around from place to place. There again, I just wanted to throw that out there. That's just my personal opinion, and I'm not blaming anybody for anything. I'm blaming ourselves. We done it. We done it, full blown. So I believe this is probably going to do it for part one. What do you think? Do you have anything else that you'd want to say about this before we go into the second part series of the how we got out of it or tried to get out of it?
No, I don't think so. I think
it pretty well covers it. I mean, laid everything out there. So anyways, guys, like I said, I hope this will help somebody out. I'm not trying to make this video super stupid long, but I am trying to shine some light on the subject, because it's not only Panama, it's your favorite spots in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. It's all across the board. Any of your high tourist spots, well, you've got this. And it's just a shame that a person can't go on their vacation and enjoy it without being harassed, pretty much, which I get it. You got that option of walking away. But at the same time, I'm going to just throw this out there too. I said no once before to one of these guys, and the exact same guy that I said no to and was rude to was actually my waiter at a different restaurant, was he not?
Yeah.
So you got to watch that too, because not only are you being rude to them, then you're walking into a restaurant that they're making your food, guys. So you got to watch for this. So that's all we've got for you for now. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, if this is something that you want to see more of, like I said, go down there and hit that subscribe button and give me a big thumbs up. And don't forget, guys, there is going to be a part 2 to this. So you know, like always, it's nothing different. We start these videos differently, but they all end the same. Only difference is my beautiful wife's next to me, but she's with me anyway. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Peace. We're out.